So if your energy is tanking, your belly feels like it could be inflamed, or your body's been hanging on to weight like it's something sentimental, then your liver might be trying to get your attention. But I don't want you to worry because it is fixable. So stay tuned to find out how. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. Hey friends, welcome back to Gut Fix, where we ditch confusion, lower inflammation, and help women over 40 feel like themselves again. I'm Wendy, your functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and functional health detective. So today I want to talk about fatty liver. It's one of the most common, yet silent and totally reversible metabolic issues that affect women right now. And most people don't even know that they have it until the symptoms of exhaustion, inflammation, frustration all pop into play. And I see this a lot in my practice. A woman comes to me, feeling tired all the time, bloated, unable to lose weight no matter what she tries. And everybody wants to blame that on menopause. And while yes, menopause does play a part in that, it's not the entire story. So, and then a lot of times she's been to her doctor, tells her labs are normal, and it's just part of getting older. But, deep down, we all know when something's off, right? And often that something is a struggling liver. So let's change that. Let's shed some light on this silent energy drainer. So first of all, exactly what is fatty liver? Well, in simple terms, it's when, fat starts building up around your liver cells. So think of your liver as your body's main processing plant. It's responsible for over 500 vital functions, including detoxing chemicals, metabolizing fats and proteins, balancing your hormones, and regulating your energy supply. And when excess fat starts to clog up that liver's machinery, then everything slows down. Your detox pathways get sluggish, your metabolism stalls, your hormones get out of whack, and your energy levels, they plummet. And it's a traffic jam in the body's most important metabolic organ. And there's two main types of fatty liver. One is alcohol-related fatty liver, which obviously is caused by heavy drinking. And then there's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. We're focusing on the non-alcoholic fatty liver today because, number one, it's skyrocketing in women over 40. And it's not just about alcohol. And quite honestly, it is more common now than the alcoholic fatty liver. So the $1 million question is, what causes fatty liver when it doesn't come from alcohol? And it rarely is caused by just one thing. Like almost all chronic disease, it isn't ever just one root cause, right? It's usually a perfect storm of modern lifestyle factors. So let's break them down. First, you've got your sugars and your refined carbs. And this is a big one because when you eat more sugar and starchy foods than your body can use for energy, your liver converts the excess into fat. And I'm not talking about candy and soda. I'm talking about the hidden sugars in the so-called quote unquote healthy foods like oat milk, crackers, granola bars, and even, smoothies, a lot of smoothies, right? Next up is gut inflammation or gut dysbiosis. And this is a huge piece of the puzzle that conventional medicine most of the time overlooks. Your gut and your liver are directly connected through a highway called the portal vein. And when your gut is out of balance, or what we call dysbiosis, harmful bacteria can produce inflammation and promotes fat storage. It's like your gut is sending a constant stream of stress signals to your liver. And then you have hormone shifts, especially during perimenopause and menopause. And as your estrogen levels decline, women are more prone to storing fat around their organs, including the liver. And this is that stubborn visceral fat that can be so very hard to lose. And of course, we can't leave off stress, because when you're chronically stressed, your body pumps out cortisol. It just keeps pumping it out, pumping it out, pumping it out. And high cortisol raises your blood sugar, which, as we just learned, tells your liver to store more fat. So it becomes a very vicious cycle. And then we can't leave off oxidative stress, which is basically damage inside your cells. And if you listen to last week's episode, think of it like it's rusting, like you're rusting from the inside out. And this damage, it slows down your liver's ability to detoxify and repair itself, and that leads to more inflammation. And, while we're focused on non-alcoholic fatty liver, even casual drinking can be a problem. If your liver's already under strain from all these other factors, then alcohol just adds more fuel to that fire. And then finally, we have environmental toxins. And we're exposed to a daily barrage of chemicals from things like fragrances, from plastics, pesticides, and, a lot more than that. So guess what? Organ has to process all of this. Yup, you guessed it. It's your liver. And when the toxic load gets too high, the liver just can't keep up. So the reason that we say that fatty liver is so silent is that the symptoms are often very vague, and they can be blamed or, looked at as other things. So when you have, fatty liver, you might be experiencing fatigue that is not relieved from sleep, from brain fog or trouble concentrating, that bloating and that feeling of fullness, that stubborn belly weight or puffiness, that spare tire that we get around our waist. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Intense cravings for sugar or carbs, high cholesterol or triglycerides on your lab reports for no apparent reason, difficulty losing any weight, and waking up feeling stiff and inflamed. And then, of course, you could have symptoms of hormone imbalance like PMS or hot flashes. And here's the kicker to all of this and all of those symptoms is you might have elevated liver enzymes on a blood test, but often they're still within quote unquote normal range. And most people get told all the time that your labs are normal. Meanwhile, the liver is over here waving that white flag saying, help, I need help over here. So if standard labs don't always catch it, how can we find out what's really going on? Sure, you can start with the conventional blood work. You can do that. And sometimes an ultrasound can show the fat in the liver. But these tests are only going to tell you that the liver is struggling, not why it's struggling. So this is where we have to be the health detectives. And this is where I love what I do. Because in my FDN practice, I use functional labs to look upstream. And then we want to understand maybe root cause or causes. And so we investigate your gut function, your detox pathways, your oxidative stress levels, your hormone balance, the integrity of your mucosal barrier or that lining that lines your gut, and overall inflammation and metabolic strain. And the two most powerful labs, or actually there's more than two, but is the GI map, and there's a series of fluid IQ panels that we run. So let's start with the GI map. So the GI map is a stool test, and it's your liver's best friend because, as we discussed, most liver stress starts in your gut. And the GI map can show us, is there dysbiosis, or the lipopolysaccharide producing bacteria. These are the endotoxins that drive liver inflammation. H. pylori, this is a common stomach bug that can reduce your stomach acid, and that's going to impair fat digestion and burdens the liver. And then it will show yeast or fungal overgrowth. And these produce their own toxins that the liver has to go ahead and clear out. And then pathogens or parasites. And these ramp up inflammation and your body's detox demand. Then it looks at some pancreatic enzyme levels. And if you're not making enough enzymes, you can't digest fats properly. And then we look at a marker called beta-glucuronidase. And this is a big one for women because high levels of this enzyme promote the recirculation of your estrogen that your body was trying to get rid of. And that can lead to estrogen dominance and that stubborn liver fat. So the GI map gives us, the why the liver is inflamed piece of the puzzle. So then we have the fluids IQ panels, and it's a combination of urine tests and FDN that FDN practitioners use to get a full picture of your metabolism, hormones, and detox pathways. And it also uses saliva as well. So the metabolic wellness panel measures indican, and indican is going to tell us about bacterial overgrowth and protein malabsorption, showing toxins that are traveling from your gut to your liver. And then it's also going to look at total bile acids. So this shows us how well you're digesting fats and clearing toxins. So low levels can mean a very sluggish liver, and high levels can indicate liver irritation. And then we look at 8-OH-DG. This is a major marker of that oxidative stress, or the rusting that I've been talking about, the rusting from within. And high levels mean that there's a lot of cellular damage that's impacting your liver's ability to repair itself. And then we have another panel is the stress and hormone panel. And this looks at your cortisol rhythm, your DHEA, and the cortisol to DHEA ratio, which is very important. Your sex hormone metabolites, and melatonin. And this is all very crucial because high or low cortisol is going to drive metabolic problems. And we can see exactly how your body is trying to detox estrogen. And low melatonin is also a red flag because your liver does most of its repair while you're sleeping. And then finally, we have the mucosal barrier assessment. And this looks directly at leaky gut with markers like zonulin. So it also checks for histamine overload and the enzyme that clears it out, DAO. So if your gut barrier is compromised, your liver becomes that perpetual cleanup crew, and it gets just plain exhausted. So together, these labs don't just give us a diagnosis and say, yeah, your liver is not functioning. It's going to give us the roadmap for healing it. So you might be sitting there wondering, okay, so if I have fatty liver, how do I reverse it naturally? Well, the beautiful thing is that the liver is incredibly capable and has the capacity for regeneration. So when you remove the sources of the stress and give it the right support, it can heal. And here's the foundational steps to reverse fatty liver naturally. So number one, you want to reduce those sugar and refined carbs. This one is a non-negotiable because stabilizing your blood sugar is going to be the magic pill for your liver. Then you want to boost your omega-3 intake. So, think about fatty fish like salmon, sardines, if you can stomach them. I personally can't. Or a good quality omega-3 supplement. Omega-3s are powerfully anti-inflammatory and they can help reduce that liver fat. And then you want to support your gut. And this is where the GI map is so very valuable, because by healing that dysbiosis, you're reducing the toxic load on your liver. You can eat sulfur-rich foods. So, foods like broccoli, onions, cabbage, garlic, they all provide the building blocks for your liver's main antioxidant, glutathione. And then you really want to manage your stress and balance your cortisol. And this means, getting more sunlight, practicing deep breathing, and eating predictable meals to help keep your blood sugar stabilized. And then consider reducing or completely eliminating alcohol for 30 to 60 days or forever. You might just be amazed at how much better you feel. And you always want to aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, because your liver is regenerating at night. So this is its prime time for healing. And you can use some targeted supplements. They should always be personalized based on your lab results, of course. But some of the commonly used and helpful nutrients for liver support include NAC, milk thistle, TUDCA, magnesium, and omega-3s. So the beautiful thing about fatty liver is that it's incredibly responsive when you give the body the right support. And your body is incredibly responsive. Your body is very resilient. It innately knows what to do to heal itself when you treat it properly. And so it's not a life sentence if you have fatty liver. It's actually more common than it should be. It's a sign that your body's asking for a change. So if you're tired of feeling exhausted and inflamed, and you want to explore functional labs to understand what's really driving the chaos in your body, then I'm here to help. So you can check out the link in the show notes below and learn more about how you can book a free 30-minute discovery call with me. So thanks for tuning in to Gut Fix. And until next week, stay happy and stay healthy. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.